This is a first, guys. I've never done this. This is next. It was the right thing. Let's be honest. It was the right thing to do. Howdy, and welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. My name is Troy, and I'm back with my high mileage daily driver D2. We're gonna do a little bit of coolant work. Now, for those who are new to the channel, this is my 2004 Land Rover Discovery 2 that I bought sight unseen from a dealer auction from New Mexico. This truck showed up with 173,000 miles and now has over 180,000 miles. It was a 200 truck, no rust, 4.6 Thor V8. And it ran well enough that I decided to keep it. This was something that I was gonna buy cheap and resell, but I never really owned a D2, and so this was gonna be the first foray into D2 things, and my goodness, have I got into some D2 things. But that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is to get into, I guess, one of the final fixes for some of the cooling system issues that I've been having for a while. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if you're a Land Rover owner, you understand what AC season means. That means hot temperatures, outside, inside, and sustain on the engine. And I have made a bunch of videos talking about viscous fan clutches, lower 180-degree thermostats, flow cooler water pumps, which I did on this truck, including a bunch of cooling system work, expansion tank, caps, all that fun stuff. But we have reached a final conclusion of where my coolant's going. I'll tell you where it's not going. Into the engine, but it's going elsewhere. So today, my goal is to fix that potentially $4,500 to $5,500 external head gasket leak problem for 50 bucks. And the thought process behind this decision is the fact that these trucks, and especially this truck, is probably only worth maybe $5,500 as is. Again, no rust, 4.6, runs and drives great, just doesn't have a lot of paint. It's not super pretty. Obviously there's some value in the tires and the ARB, the winch and the lights and all that fun stuff, but its value to me as a running, driving, functional vehicle that I do drive almost daily is actually higher, which is why I'm going the direction that you might think that I shouldn't go. So what am I talking about? What is my concern? Now, my concern is after all of the coolant related repairs that I've made, I'm still getting a smell of coolant and dripping coolant kind of down the front of the engine block and timing cover. And I was thinking it could be a timing cover issue or a leak or something like that. But the fact that I've got coolant right here on the side of the shock tower mount leads me to believe that I have, and I can't really tell there, but there's some coolant, there's some drips, there's some leaks. And what I've determined unprofessionally is that I have an external head gasket leak that really only manifests itself at higher temperatures and higher RPMs. Now, we all know what it costs to do a head gasket job at a shop normally. I'm sure you could tell me to do it myself, but I absolutely do not have the time, the money, the resources, or the stamina to do such a job, especially on a Thor 4.6. There's a lot more junk, there's a lot more things that have to come off. And I like to use my Land Rovers. I do use them as projects. It is kind of fun to work on them and stuff, but taking the whole top of the engine off of a 180,000 mile Land Rover 4.6 of all engines is just not something that's in the cards for me to do this summer. So I'm gonna do the next best thing and see if I can fix it for very cheap. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Goodfellas, but there's this particular scene movie where a certain actor and his brother get drugged into the field and beaten senseless with baseball bats, and yet foreshadowing that occurs and you know it's coming, it hurts, right? Everyone's seen that scene, and you know, two characters that you might have liked, might have not liked. Let me get this all figured out, right? So, all right. Once we do this, there's no going back, boys and girls. Yep, right there. She's going in. Whole thing. It's kind of like suicide. It's kind of like taking the red pill and the blue pill. This is something that no one should do. Yep, I just dumped K-Seal into my Land Rover Discovery. Yeah. So, you guys just watched me do that. Could that have been the dumbest thing I've ever done? I can hear you screaming at your YouTube, at your phone, at your computer, at whatever it is right now. And that's why I had to do it and just kind of get it over with. But right there, we did a K-Seal Ultimate Head Gasket Repair. And we're gonna let this run. We followed the directions, we shook it up. It recommends putting it in the radiator itself, but there's no exact access for that. So we just dumped it into the cooling system. So you're gonna say a lot of things, Troy. Your coolant passes are gonna get clogged up. Well, the bottle says it won't. Troy, your heater core is gonna get clogged up. Well, that's not really my problem. It's summertime, that's a winter problem. We're gonna handle that elsewhere. So what we're gonna do is let that circulate. We're gonna clean off where it was blowing on that side of the engine bay. And this video will conclude with a couple weeks of testing to see if I absolutely just destroyed my truck, like everyone says, or if I just fixed a $4,500 problem for $39.99 is what this costs. So we'll find out. Whew. This is a first, guys. I've never done this. This is next. It was the right thing. Let's be honest. It was the right thing to do. What am I going to do? Spend $6,000 on a $2,000 truck? I did this on good word of a couple other enthusiasts I know that have done such things with actually decent results. So there was a little bit of conversation involved around this. The only bummer is that I do have completely fresh coolant. I've got a new water pump, a brand new coolant expansion tank and everything, so it's gonna get kind of mucked up a little bit. Maybe I'll go back and clean it out at some point. Am I slightly sad about it? I am, but I don't regret it yet. Again, the leak externally will get worse. I've been around many trucks actually, a very large external head gasket leaks where it's visibly leaking between the block and the cylinder head. There's visible exhaust gases and noise coming out as well. It's like this kind of noise, sounds like an exhaust leak, but it's actually the external head gasket leak. So my thought is if I can quell the leak now, then maybe it'll give me, another 20, 30,000 miles out of it, because at the end of the day, it's a pretty disposable truck. I like to drive it, but I use it as a work truck. So, this is the best thing I can think of for it at the moment, but I might eat those words. Now it wants me to run it for 4 or 5 minutes, circulate things, because that's how it works, right? It finds the leak, it seeps its way in or out, and then hardens up. And obviously there's lots of concerns for your heater core and other components like that, but I'm not rebuilding this engine anytime soon. I mean, I'd like to say that, it's a good rust-free chassis and I need to preserve it and this and that, but it was a cheap truck. I've done some work to it. It'll always be a cheap truck, and that's what makes it fun. If I can get away with this fix, then I'm doing pretty good. So it's summertime, so we'll see how this lasts. So the idea of this will be the test. I'm gonna run it all week, see what happens, let that stuff settle in there, and move on with my life, hopefully. So very low tech. Again, we've cleaned off this area where all the dried coolant was blowing. So we're gonna check back in after that all settles up. So I forgot to take it before, but I just cleaned the bottom of the oil pan, and what you'd see normally is after a while, again, this is like after I did the water pump, just see a little bit of orange coolant just starting to slowly make its little way down from the front timing cover area, but not the front timing cover, the upper part. So this is what it looks like now. Remember this snapshot. You'll start to see if it's still going to leak afterwards, this sticky orange residue that attaches. It kind of looks like oil, but it's sticky and orange. Same goes for here. You start seeing it run down. But I don't think it's working yet. It needs to kind of harden. Nice and hard. All right, welcome back. It's the next day, and I had this crazy dream last night that I dumped K-Seal into the 4.6 liter V8 in my D2, and it was kind of a nightmare because it's such a horrible idea in the grand scheme of things to do. But you know, bygones be bygones. All right, well, in all seriousness, I started the truck up this morning, and there was absolutely no noises, no issues. Everything's still circulating. The coolant is still orange, and we're driving Max to school. So the idea is to put a bunch of miles on it, and 1, check for leaks, 2, check the coolant. What's up, Max? Max, we're talking about how Dada dumped some goo into the engine last night, and we're gonna do a little testing to see if the goo fixed the issue or made it worse. So it's day one. I probably just drove for about an hour, dropping the kids off at school and whatnot. So let's check to see if there's any immediate signs of seepage. But the engine runs fine, everything's working, there's no crazy noises or anything like that. So that's a good thing. The coolant reservoir looks fine too. It's actually dispersed enough that it's not all gritty. So let's look here on the side, and so far, no major spray from our offending area down there. Looks dry still. Again, it's gonna need a few cycles, I believe, to do anything, if it does anything. But let's look down here too, because you'd see it on the oil pan, and the oil pan, everything looks good. I don't see any new drips or orange that traces down all the way to the end of the car. So all that looks okay for now, but that's not really the end of the test, just the beginning. So we're gonna keep it on. All right, well, it's day 3 of me dumping the equivalent of automotive cyanide into my perfectly healthy Land Rover Discovery 2 4.6 engine, and I'm here with Otto. We're gonna do one of the last tests because I'm still doing the driving portion, right? Doing a few heat cycles, hot, cold, let it sit, let that stuff really coat in and get in all those little coolant jacket passages so we can really make sure she dies. What I want to do today is let it warm up for a second and then turn the heat on. We're going to circulate that through the heater core. It is an open heater core, so it's been circulating through there anyway. But, right, if you put K-Seal in your engine, what do? You ruin your heater core. So we're going to find out if that is true or not after we get this thing up to temp a little bit. Right, Otto? No. Nope. Okay. All right, we're going to let it warm up. I've set it on high. Let's see if heat comes out of this thing. And it's already definitely blowing. It's already blowing a little bit warmer than it was a second ago, so we'll let it do its thing, warm up, and see if we've got heat or not. Bye, Otto. Bye. Otto, what kind of truck is this? What kind of truck is this? Is this a Rover?
No.
Yeah? Do you like this Rover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we killed this Rover when Dada dumped stop leak into the engine?
Yeah.
Yeah. So while we're sitting here waiting for this to warm up more, it's already blowing nice and cold. You know, I'm parked next to the L322, and I go back and forth about which is a better daily driver Rover. And every time I drive this, I'm like, nah, this is the best. Solid axles, nice, small, maneuverable, small package with 4.6. Every time I drive that, it's night and day. Like, oh wow, I got power, I've got actual comfort, and room for everybody and whatnot. But it just keeps going back and forth. Let me know in the comments which one you would rather daily drive. And mind you, I'm kind of in the city, so it is nice to have something a little bit smaller, a little bit more maneuverable, and something you just don't really care that much about. And the D2 does that from like a kind of a classic daily driver. You know, you're a car person but doesn't really want to drive something new, but still wants to be identified as a car person. I don't know, the D2 really fits that box pretty well. All right, so I was gonna do this a little later and I still will, but I wanted to show as best I could. This was that kind of gooey, I want to use the word gooey bit where the leak looked like it was coming from. Get the phone down there. And if you can see now, it's still bone dry. There's still some buildup on the manifolds where this historically was leaking, but it's still pretty bone dry, which is impressive. So, I mean, I'm gonna drive it a little bit more, but I'm gonna call that a win, I think. Doesn't, I mean, case open, case closed. The engine still runs great. I have heat and I'm not leaking coolant anymore from the corner of the engine block. I don't think that test gets more open and shut than that. So I think that's a win. So that's it, video over. I came, I saw, I conquered. I'm not sure how to put that in perspective, but what I did was I dumped K-Seal, the forbidden cyanide of anything automotive, into my Land Rover, and it sealed the external head gasket leak that I was having. I still have a functional cooling system. I still have functional heat, and the truck actually runs and drives great. Even the expansion tank is not miscolored, or there's not huge signs that I've done this. So, in conclusion, right? Does it work? Sure. I guess time will tell. I think, again, the upside to this is really, to me, there's only upsides. Let's say it starts a slow leak again in a year, 6 months. Who cares? It won't be as big as it was before. It was very, very minor. Okay, and I'm not saying you do this if you have a completely blown head gasket, or if you've got mixing between the coolant and the oil. You know, this was an extremely minor leak, a minor situation that called for something that was not a full, you know, heads off head gasket job. So would I recommend you do this to your old Land Rover? Yes, but also address the cooling system. Put a new radiator in it, put a new water pump in it. Ensure that there's actually something that is not wrong, but that there is something from the engine side of things that's potentially leaking. Don't just throw it in if you've got a bad water pump or a leaky hose or a sticky thermostat or something like that. You know, do it if there's actually an issue that kind of threatens your financial stability in keeping your Land Rover on the road. Because again, these things in this condition aren't really worth that much. So, you know, for the money I put into it, I can still use it, I can still enjoy it, and it kind of saves it from being deemed financially totaled, I guess, if I was to try to do an actual head gasket job on the truck. So 181,000 miles, 4 sticks, still going strong. I'll report back if anything changes, but right now it's summertime. We're just gonna keep driving her, and hopefully it's all good. So K-Seal, sure, why not?